Hey, good morning and happy Wednesday. Welcome to Getting Started. And that's just what we're going to do. We're going to get started. So this week we're working a little bit on just the theme of the modes of money and the modes of time. And we are looking at how connected both the money and the time really are in our life. And I think part of the issue is that oftentimes we don't realize until maybe things have gotten ahead of us that we run out of time, and maybe sometimes we run out of money for this or that. And I think those are the little signs that pop up every once in a while, sort of reminding us maybe things the way they're set up right now aren't really working for what we really desire, which goes to the question, do we even have what we desire really defined, right? And so today what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down the list of the modes of time and modes of money and sort of connect them together and help you understand or see maybe a different perspective of how connected and how important both of these aspects of our life really are to our financial life. Because the old saying goes, I believe something to the effect that time is money and money is time. And it really is true in terms of just what we do on a day-to-day basis, right? So some of the questions that I'll pose are a bit rhetorical, I guess, but you can use them maybe to do your own little exercise and maybe do your own exercise and go through the process of just asking the question. It's a different question with regard to the time and the money and each of the different modes. So let's go through and just review quickly. The 5 modes of time are making time, spending time, saving time, investing time, and wasting time. Ever have a day where you felt like you just wasted a lot of time? Yeah, I hate when that feeling happens. Then in the 5 modes of money, it's pretty much the same. Making money, spending money, saving money, investing money, and wasting money, right? And the correlation is that they are connected. That's the presumption. And that's kind of the way it works. And so I'll just go down the time first, and then I'll go down the money mode second. And I'll frame little questions just to give us something to think about in terms of how much this stuff really affects us. Good morning, Tina. Good morning, Perry. Good morning. Hey, good morning, Takia, everybody. Let me ask questions like, how much time are you allocating to making time for your money? How much time do you make for making time for your money? How much time do you spend a day or in a week on your money? Whether it's your investments, your income, your expenses, maybe the financial desires, whatever it is, how much time are you spending involved with your money? What are you doing that would save time so that you had some more time to focus on the money? What are you investing time in regarding your money? You're investing time right now on the podcast. A lot of you are doing the exercises. A lot of you are on the group that we do on Saturday. These are time investments that should be giving you a return on the investment, like I spoke about yesterday. Investing time is just like investing money because they're both precious assets, right? So if I'm investing time in something, generally I would expect some return on that investment, some benefit or something that I'm getting out of that time that I've invested. And how much time are we wasting doing things that aren't focused on the things that we desire? And then I have to ask the question, is it really a desire, or is it something that you think you want but haven't clearly defined, so you don't have that clarity of focus to turn it into a real desire? And we get confused on this stuff, the brain does, gets confused by how we communicate, maybe the self-chatter, what I call mind chatter, the self-talk, or just the simple words that we use, right? And oftentimes the words and how we frame things and when we communicate is a mirror of how we're thinking, right? One of the greatest things that I learned, or not really learned, but made some observations on, and thought it was absolutely just completely out of the world, just totally cool. The FBI has its main training headquarters in Quantico. And in part of that training, their behavioral specialists, those agents that are behavioral specialists, spend a great deal of time in interviewing techniques, right? How to interview, I guess, a suspect or whatever, right? And what I found to be really fascinating is how deep they go into words and language and how sentences are structured as clues and as indicators of what's really going on. And because they've picked up, they had this whole thing on linguistic patterns, right? And how you communicate and how your words are structured give clues that they use in investigations. And I just thought that was absolutely fascinating to see how they did that. Now, I didn't go too deep into it. I just read some stuff on it, and but I found it to be very, very interesting in that oftentimes when we're communicating, particularly about money, we have this dual conflict, right? We say what we say and often don't say what we mean. And it's not that we intentionally don't say what we mean, but it's almost like that autopilot kicks in and shit just comes out of our mouth that's already queued up and ready to go in an auto response, right? And so what happens is when we do this and we have these words that have emotion tied to them, particularly financial, what happens is that it's the communication that is revealing somewhat of that pattern, right? And so oftentimes when we're working with a situation, there's a big, financial problem, tax problem, blah, blah, blah. Oftentimes I do a lot of listening and I listen to what is not being said is really the clue about what's really going on with the problem. Because it's like I tell everybody at our office, you don't have the whole story. You never will have the whole story. We know what happened. We know this is going on, but we don't have the whole story. And so you can't assume anything by what somebody says. Not that they're concealing anything, but it's just the communication when it comes to money, especially a tax problem or a financial problem. Those clues pop up very, very, very definite, and it's an indication of what there is more going on. So again, are you making time for your money, either daily or weekly? Are you spending any time on your money, your financial life? Are you doing anything to save time so that you can focus and realign some time to your money? I don't know, I'll just pull a wild example. If you're spending more than an hour a day watching the television, let's just use that. Is it and you're spending like no time during the week on your financial life or your money? Is it possible that you could realign and maybe do 30 minutes of television and then take the time that you save not watching television and then do the money thing on Saturday, maybe? I don't know. These are just things that I'm trying to point out, that we get comfortable in the patterns that we're in. And generally, until a crisis happens or some unintended event or unplanned event happens financially, generally we're good to go and comfortable in the pattern, sort of like the hamster that gets on the wheel. How much time are you investing in your financial life? And what is it that you're investing in? And what is the return on that investment? Are you reading financial literature? Are you reading your financial reports, your bank statements? Are you I mean, we go through this process every month and get all the credit card statements and all the bank account, and we go line by line. I mean, line by line. And every month we find shit that just, where did that come from? Who did that? Where did it? And let's go fix that. Imagine if we didn't do that at the end of the year, how much that would be. It'd be a lot. And then how much time do we waste? And I guess this is again, maybe waste is not the most accurate word, but oftentimes it is a waste of time when we're doing something else that could be, part of that time could be invested in our financial life and on our money. Yeah, I think health is a great thing. I think going out and riding a bike or taking a walk or jogging or running, swimming, going to the gym, doing yoga, all that shit is absolutely great. But are you doing it to the exclusion of any time that you would be focusing on your financial life and your money? The time that you invest, and studies have shown this, the more time that you invest in your financial life, your financial affairs, the greater the financial benefit and reward. And it's almost like 5-to-1 in terms of just how you can measure the exponential benefit. And what do you focus on? You know, really, it's just like doing the assessment. Where are you financially? And then what's the most important, the second most important, and the third most important, and just start prioritizing. So I'm asking these questions to raise the issue, to provoke some thought. Are you making time for your money? Are you spending any time on your money? Are you trying to do things to save time so that you have time for your money? Oh, I just don't have time. How many times do we say that shit, right? Oh, I don't have any time. What do you mean you don't have time? The time is endless, right? Well, that's all we have is time. And until we don't, right? And then if we're not focused, if we're not engaged, if we're not connected, then the consequence or the outcome, if you will, is going to be that our financial life, that aspect of our life, is going to be a bit disorganized, maybe chaotic, maybe eventful in the sense that we're always in this reactive mode. We're always reacting to things instead of being proactive and preventing things. Okay. The same thing can be said for money. So let's go down the same list: making money, spending money, saving money, investing money, and wasting money. What are we doing in terms of making money? We're in the 21st century, last time I checked this morning, and we have moved and are continuing to move rapidly away from mass society social structure to network society social structure. And the implications of this are profound. Not only just the implications of how our social structure is being reorganized because of the networking, but also the influences that generational shifting has contributed and continues to contribute. The shifting of the generation of boomers, for example, going into retirement at the scale that we've never seen before. I think about 11,000 a day starting last year is a profound shift of generational influence on the economy. And it's also going to affect business, jobs, things like that. And so my point here is, what are we doing to make money? If we've got a job or a business, that's cool. But like in our 7 Secrets program, one of the things that I certainly observed from every client that I had that was financially rich or wealthy, they had multiple streams of income. They had passive income, they had ordinary income, they had a variety of different streams of income, not any one of which they depended solely on. It was sort of a combination of a lot of things. And because of this networking effect in our social structure, boy, I'll tell you, it's so much easier today to do a side gig than it was even 10 years ago, right? And the thing about it is, it's sort of like get your hustle. What's your hustle? How do you frame that and get out there and just hustle, right? If money is an issue, then let's make more money. Well, how do I make more? There's 1,000 million ways to make more money. I'm working with a group of folks right now, mentoring them on day trading. And some of them are doing like, wow, that was amazing. And that's one way. Just a side gig, consulting, all kinds of things that you have talents for. All of these things go to contribute to, how much are you in it to win it in terms of your financial life? Are you going to do your best, which I learned for me was never really good enough. My best was cool on Tuesday and Wednesday, and Monday, no. Thursday, no. And back in the day when, I was far younger, Friday to me was framed in happy hour, right? Friday was framed in happy hour. And so that's kind of how I set shit up. And later I wasn't that happy, and it took more than an hour to fix all that shit. So look at the money and making money in terms of, that creative part of your brain. There's a million ideas that you've already got. Start writing some of these ideas down. Start talking to other people. Get some other feedback and ideas. What are you spending money on? We've gone through a couple of exercises, and we've separated out money in terms of the stack of receipts for things that we need, food, shelter, utilities, transportation, medical, those kinds of things. And then things that we want, 65 pairs of shoes in a month, chocolate Frosties, right? All those things are what we say I need to go to the store and get a pizza. Like, really? Maybe you want a pizza. Well, after you can have it delivered, but whatever. And so we get confused, and we tell our brain we need it. And then we get a little happy juice in our brain when we get it. And then we build this need pattern on pizza, right? And then pretty soon we have to make the appointment, not with the pizza delivery, but with the cardiologist, because our arteries are clogged with pizza dough or whatever. So I'm just saying, what are we spending money on versus want or need? And then when we get to the want, how much of that do we really want that is not? In other words, what's the pattern in the things that we want that we spend money on? Because it might reveal something to us in terms of this replacement behavior effect, where we're replacing a behavior instead of dealing with something. Money becomes like a lollipop. Every time we spend something, it's like licking a sweet lollipop, and we feel good because it tastes good until it wears off, and then you got like a garage full of shit that you've never even opened, that you don't even, when it gets delivered, I don't even remember ordering that shit, right? What are you doing to save money? And I don't really necessarily like so much the word save because it just seems like savings accounts never work out. They're always being tapped. I like to use the word, what are you doing to pay you first for every dollar that comes in? You're the most important person in your life. You should be. And what are you doing to set that aside to get it to a certain point, and then have part of that go to work for you and start working hard for you? So maybe one day you don't have to work your ass off for it. I'm like you. I mean, I work hard for my money, and at some point I want that money out there working its ass off for me, so I don't have to work so hard for it. But what are we doing to save money or set money aside? Do we have enough reserve, enough financial bandwidth that if we're driving our car and the engine blows up, and we've got a plan for that, right? Not that the engine's going to blow up, but if you don't have a plan for the unexpected event, we call it an emergency fund, so that if something happens around the house, Susan's got immediate access right there. It's cash. It's set aside. And if something happens, we don't have to worry, she can take care of it right there, because it's running a household is like running a business. I mean, you got a budget, you got overhead, you got all this shit you got to take care of, right? What are you doing in investing money? And what's your investment risk tolerance? What things have you invested in that have been successful? What things have you invested in that have not been successful? Like penny stocks, right? I got a good tip one day, a long time ago, back in the day, on a penny stock. And I discovered why they called it penny, because I gave them like $10,000 and I got back like pennies, right? Because that was what it was when it finally went belly up. And so I figured out that's why they called it penny stock. Day trading is not the same as investing in the stock market for long-term growth. Two completely different animals, even with the same stock. So if you're doing day trading, do you have your day trading model so efficient that you never get behind on the tax obligations and you're maximizing your profits, right? There's several ways that you can look at this, but I can tell you people that average 7, 8, 9% probably should be averaging 20, 30% on their trades, but they do something that most day traders do, and that's why probably 70% of the day traders lose all their money within 2 years. At least that's a study that I read. And then what are we doing? Is there anything that we put money to or on that we would call wasteful? Didn't want it and didn't need it. I may have wanted it, but I really didn't need it, right? Or I'm, like auto pay, auto ship, NSF fees, non-sufficient funds, ATM fees, bank fees, all this shit that just little drips here and pretty soon you got some real cash, right? Your bank statement, if you don't review it, you're going to be surprised when you do, like your credit card statement, all these little dings that show up, even the phone bill. For your cell phone. I mean, we went through and audited our cell phone because we had like 9 cell phones for the company. And we went through and audited them here recently. And we had shit on there that we had no idea where it came from. And finally, Susan and Alan took the lead and got it all worked out. And we got like this huge refund. And our bill is like less than half of what it was. And I was just thinking, how does that shit happen where they just automatically start putting shit on your bill and you don't even know what it is, right? That's again about engagement. How much time are we spending on our money? Are we actually going through shit? I mean, it's your money. This is like somebody walking up to your pocket, putting their hand in it and grabbing a handful of cash, right? And we do nothing about slapping the hand, right? At a minimum. And so how engaged are we that we would let that happen with not even a minute of time being invested in reviewing just to make sure that the shit's accurate, right? And I would be curious. I'd want to know where the money's going, because as hard as I work and as hard as you work, I definitely want to know where that money's going and be able to account for it at the end of the day, at the end of the week, or at the end of the month, or at the end of the year. So put this all together in any way that works for you and start just asking different questions. Just go down the list. You can go up to where it's scrolling right here. It's in the tab, download it, 5 modes of time and money. And the sheet that you're going to go to is right in there. It looks just like this, okay? And just go down and just start filling it out. What are you doing for making time for your money? What are you doing for making money? Go through that process and just see where you're at. That's all we're trying to figure out. We're just assessing where are we. And if you have a lot of blank space, then we at least know where you're at in the land of not engaged. And I was not engaged. I mean, I went a long time not being engaged, and that did not work. And now we know what we can do. We can take a step forward and get more engaged. And not difficult, but something has to move before anything happens, right? It's like the universal law of the universe. Nothing happens until something moves. And then once something moves, shit starts happening. And you're the person, the force that can make all the difference in making it move. You already know how to do this. This is the cool thing about this. I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know, and I'm not telling you anything that you already haven't done successfully. But with this network society and more being piled on, I see more and more people being disconnected and disengaged from their financial life, even from their relationship. I mean, you ever go out to a restaurant before this bullshit with COVID, right? You ever go out to a restaurant and you're going out to dinner, and then you see a couple at another table, and both of those people at the table, a couple, are doing this at dinner, right? It's like, what the hell? Are they texting each other? Are they, I don't know. How much time do we spend doing that shit, right? And that time, you got to look at your time like a gold coin. Every minute is a gold coin. And if you're just going to flip gold coins out in the wasteland, that's one way to do it. I did that for a long time. And man, I'm telling you, that shit did not work. And I look at time like I do dollars. Every minute is a dollar. Every minute has value. Every minute has to be productive to do the things that I desire, to set the life that I desire up. And if I don't do that, then shit ain't gonna happen, and I'm gonna be back where I was way back in the day, and that sucked, like really sucked. So think about that today. I'm gonna come back tomorrow on Thursday, and I'm gonna give you a little bit of a hack on how to put this together, and then Friday we're going to wrap it all up, and I'm going to give you something to work on if you're up for the challenge. Again, I'm only going to do this if you're up for the challenge, and I know you are, so we'll kind of do that together, because this little exercise is going to be kind of a cool test, not a test of will or a test of strength or endurance, really a test of patience, right? Sort of how calm can you become in this little exercise. And I did this recently. I've done this several times. I do it at least 2 or 3 times a year. And I can tell you, every time I have done this exercise, I come out of that exercise with some of the most profound awareness of shit that I just was not paying attention to. And it's like my life just takes leaps and bounds forward. And it's really a cool little exercise, and I want to share it with you on Friday and set the stage a little bit today, set the stage more tomorrow, and then wrap it up all on Friday, so you have some cool little thing that you can do over the weekend. And you really got to be focused, at least in terms of being in it to win it, for the point of the exercise. The exercise point and objective and outcome is to give you this, just not heightened awareness. It's like heightened awareness on steroids. This connection that is almost so rare that when we get it, it's like it shifts. It immediately shifts you, not in terms of just your awareness, but just in how you approach stuff in your financial life. It's a pretty powerful thing, and I want to share that with everybody on Friday. So anyway, today is Wednesday. I think back in the day we used to call it Hump Day. Don't even know where the hell that came from. Hump Day. What does that mean? I have no idea what that means. Right? It's Wednesday, right? Remember the commercial with the camel, Hump Day, and the camel? It was some, I think, insurance product or something. See, shit like that. The brain just remembers useless shit like that, right? And we should be focusing on the money, right? Not the camel and Hump Day. Anyway, have a great day, hump or otherwise. And look, don't take it too serious, but take it serious enough that be a little bit engaged and be curious. Intellectual curiosity is one of the most powerful things you can possess, and you already have it. Be intellectually curious, right? Don't get emotional. Money doesn't give a shit. Money doesn't care about anything about except how it's treated. And if money's not treated good, then it's going to go somewhere else where it is. A lot of states with their tax policies are figuring that out, because people are just moving out by the thousands a day. It's just like, here in California, it's like, man, they're gone. They all left, right, with their businesses. And we're going to see a lot more of that before stuff turns around. Anyway, have an awesome day. Hit me if you need me. Go to the website, get the tools, and take care. Have a great day.